Today, I'm going to be going over the cleaning and sanitizing process for this Follett Symphony Plus ice machine. I'm here about every 3 months to clean and sanitize this particular ice machine. So yes, it's in really good condition, and I'm not going to be doing a full disassembly, just a partial disassembly. My ice machine's also tucked back in this little cubby hole, which makes it really hard to get to, but with consistent cleaning of the ice machine, it never really gets to the point where you need to fully disassemble it. So that's a good thing. Follow along, do this once every 3 months at a minimum, and your ice machine should remain in tip-top shape. First thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to remove this front cover. You just find somewhere to grab on it. You can pull it out. There's little plastic tabs holding it in place. And then you're going to lift it up. There's hinges at the top. So it hinges on that screw, and then those little plastic parts are these little knobs here, and those are the hinges. The top cover also comes off, a little bit of Velcro, and it'll come out of place. This is also where your cleaning instructions are. If you choose to follow these cleaning procedures step by step, you are more than welcome to do that. First thing I'm going to do with this machine is I'm going to turn off the bin signal, which is this guy that goes into the storage bin. It senses ice by whether or not this piece of metal gets cold or not. I don't want the machine to turn on when I'm in the middle of doing my job, so I want to turn off the bin signal. Power remains on. I'm not going to add my cleaner right away. I'm going to do hot water first to make sure there's no ice in my evaporator, and then I'm going to do my cleaner, my Follett Safe Clean Plus mixture. So I'm going to hit the clean button. Water's going to drain. You might see some bubble out right here. You might not. When the low water light turns on, that's going to be when it's time to add our water or the water cleaner mixture. My low water light came on. I took the black cap off of the clean cup, and I just have some warm water that I'm going to pour into this cup. It'll fill all the way up to the top of this reservoir. Once that's full, the low water light will turn off and the cleaner full light will turn on. Water reservoir is now full. Cleaner full light is on, and my low water light has turned off. This starts the 15-minute long clean process. It says right here somewhere 15 minutes, approximately 15 minutes. The evaporator, the auger inside the evaporator is just going to turn in a circle for roughly 15 minutes, and then it's going to flush the cleaner, fill with water, flush the water, refill with water, just to kind of rinse it all out. I'm going to let this run just for 5 minutes. Then I'm going to turn it off, turn it back on, and I'm going to restart my clean process. The reason why I did that, like I said before, was just to warm up the evaporator, make sure there's no ice. The evaporator is inside of this guy right here. So I want to make sure there's no ice in there. I'm going to remix my solution. I'm going to do about 32 ounces of water, an 8-ounce bottle of Follett Safe Clean Plus, and then I'm going to add it back in there just like I did before. The low water light and cleaner full, it's all the same. This is the Follett Safe Clean Plus. I will link this in the description below the video so you can find it. I'm going to mix it with my water. You should probably use gloves and safety glasses if you can't avoid getting it in your eyes. I'm going to take that mixture, add it to this cup. The low water light will shut off and cleaner full light will turn on. While the cleaner is running through the system, I'm going to dispense all of the ice out of the machine, and I'm going to dump it because The next step will be to take off this lid, take out this hardware here, remove all of the innards from the ice storage area so that we can clean out the ice storage bin. All of my ice has been removed. That's about 3 or 4 of these water pitchers. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this top panel by taking out these 3 finger screws. Quick little note, there is a little micro switch right there. If you take this off too early and you try to dispense ice, the dispenser won't work because that switch has to be pushed down by the lid, kind of as a safety to make sure that if someone has their hands inside here, that it won't accidentally trigger and wrap you up. 3 screws removed. Take this off. We'll set this off to the side just to give that a quick wipe down. Inside of here, there's the kind of agitator, as well with that little metal piece, and then the wheel, the dispense wheel. To get all that out, we're going to need to take out this hardware. Take out this one first, because these little wing nuts, they don't spin because this prevents it. Take out this guy, and then take out these guys, and then all this hardware will come off. There's also it's hard to see down inside here, but there's also a little finger screw that holds in the metal part of the agitator. Let's see if I can show you that real quick. Yeah, so this screw, just loosen that up with your finger, and then you can pull out this agitator. Set that off to the side. With that hardware removed, which controls this piece, you can take this guy out. This is the bottom side, so when you go to put it in, make sure you put it in this way, smooth side up. This guy will end up hitting this and it won't spin, which will make your ice dispenser mechanism not work. Then the dispense wheel comes out. For the inside of here, there's several ways you can do it. The way I'm going to do it is I'm going to get myself a clean microfiber rag. I'm going to give it a quick wipe down all the way down inside, all the way around the bottom, around this loop here. Wipe down all the walls, wipe down this, and then I'm going to spray it with some food safe sanitizer. Depending on how dirty your machine is, will determine whether or not you need to get in here and scrub really well. If you need to use what Follett calls the Sani sponges and put it down inside of this transport tube, it just depends on how dirty your machine is. Now that I've wiped out the inside of my storage bin, I'm going to use some of this Manitowoc ice machine sanitizer. I mix a little bit in with some water, and I'm just going to spray the walls, let that sit. I'm going to go through these one by one, rinse them off in the sink, spray them with some of the sanitizer, and then I'm just going to put them back in reverse order of how I took them out. Dispense wheel being the first part that I put in, this metal piece being the second, making sure that the flat side is up, and then I'll put in this agitator and tighten the finger screw. I will also be replacing all of my hardware, wiping off my lid, and putting my lid back on top of the machine. Storage area is all done being cleaned, sanitized, and put back together. The machine is going through its fills and flushes as we speak, should be ending pretty soon. These guys come out just by pinching them together. We're going to take these to the sink to wash them. We're going to be removing these. Okay, so my clean cycle just ended. 15 minutes is a good approximation. Take out these 4 screws. We're going to remove this panel so that we can get to all of our drain hoses on the inside. We're also going to be pulling this 1/4-inch water line off of this John Guest fitting. Just push in and then you should be able to pull this out. Unfortunately, I'm going to need to put the phone down and use 2 hands. I'm also just going to click the power off so that these guys don't randomly energize when I have the panel off to the side, especially with this disconnected, because from experience, this was triggered when this wasn't connected, and this hose just whoosh, sprayed everything across the room. So let me get that taken care of. Once you open up the dispenser panel, or whatever you want to call it, we're going to be able to see this. The reason why we want to get to this cup, because this is the drain cup for, I think this is an overflow hose, this is an overflow hose, but this hose right here is the drain hose for the storage bin. The #1 place to get some type of nasty buildup will be inside of this hose and inside of this cup, as well as down this drain. So this is a pretty important area. We're going to be using a series of brushes to just kind of put it down in, push it all the way through, and make sure it comes out nice and clean. I'll be taking off this screw, or actually you don't really need to, you can just pull it out and then kind of do a visual inspection. Because we're here so often, or I'm here so often, this machine never really has a chance to get dirty, which is actually really awesome because of this cubby that it's in, taking off some of these side panels, removing all of these hoses. Some of these hoses that go back to the evaporator is really difficult to do. So in this setup, doing a regular cleaning every 3 months at a very bare minimum is the way to go. When you remove this screw, you can then pull this cup down and get a better look at it. And then you can take this cup out. Sometimes stuff likes to grow inside of these little crevices. So we'll take that to the sink and rinse it out. The only thing that's really important when putting this back together is this hose needs to be between these two in this front corner. Previously, I had put this machine back together and this hose was on this side going into the corner that was supposed to go into, but when this fan spins with this over here, it hits and then the machine malfunctions. So make sure that this overflow hose is between these two so that it's held in place where it's supposed to be. So I'm just going to wipe this out, rinse this off, spray it with some sanitizer, and I'm going to put it all back together. I'm also going to go ahead and just put this back on here and have this section all buttoned up. I will wipe off this area, the dispense chute from the storage bin, and I'm going to rinse these guys off, wash them off in the sink, spray them with some sanitizer, and put that all back together. So it'll end up looking something like this. Before we turn it on, we're going to clean our condenser. To clean the condenser, you're going to lift up on this grill, pull the bottom out, and then slide it down. Luckily, this office building has a really good air filtration system, so our condenser never really gets all that dirty. We will, however, be using one of these brushes, the handle cut off for tight locations. We're just gonna brush up and down to make sure that's clean, clean off the louver, and put it back in. Once it's all done, we will click both of these on and the machine should fire up and start making ice. The machine is all put back together, back up and running in the process of making ice. I'm going to let it run for about 15 to 20 minutes and dispose of that initial ice production, just because there's a tendency for the ice to taste a little bit off. It's just the sanitizer. It's totally food safe, but it doesn't taste the best. Just a side note, yes, I didn't follow the manufacturer's instructions step by step, and there is a lot more that goes into this, but for a basic preventative maintenance, this is a perfect way to go. In doing like bearing inspections, taking out all the water hoses, removing the water trough, like those are optional things. If your machine is dirty and it needs it, yes, do it. But if you just maintain it on a regular basis, clean it a minimum of every 3 months, the machine will never really get all that dirty, so you won't have to worry about all that extra, real hard, labor-intensive stuff, as well as dealing with a situation like this one where the machine's shoved in a little cubby hole. If you got any value out of this video at all, like, subscribe to the channel, and if I missed something, if you would have done something differently, please comment on the video, tell me where I jacked up. That way I can fix it or address the individual issues as they come up. Until next time, Ice Machine 411, see you on the next video.